Hello, everyone. My name is Daz, and today I'm going to talk about sense of humor. Alright, man is a social animal, and one of the most important things to build a solid social value is to have a good sense of humor. If you don't believe me, check out the guys who are in your social environment and they have a high value, or they are just more in demand by everyone, or everybody is like just talking about them. What's something common about them? They're funny, aren't they? Don't believe me? Alright, look at the celebrities. Let's say Johnny Depp, or Kevin Hart, or even Dwayne Johnson. What's common in these guys? Of course they're good looking, but at the same time there is something funny about them. They have something funny to say, or the way they say things are funny. So it's very obvious now, and it's clear that if you are funny, you have a solid social value. Alright, how can being funny help you in your regular life? Let's talk interviews. Let's say you go for an interview. If you have a pleasant personality and you can improvise jokes on the spot, keeping the jokes in the boundaries of appropriateness of the circumstances, then you all of a sudden create an image that you have a personality which will be well suited for the job. Let's say, for example, you go for an interview for Mercedes, and your competitor knows 100% about Mercedes car. Let's say he knows when the first Mercedes was formed, and who was the owner, like how many cylinder this particular Mercedes has, or every model number, and all the trivial information. He has that, but he lacks social value. He lacks a personality. Let's say you know 60% of the knowledge. I mean, you have 60 to 70% of trivial information, or basics, but on the other hand, you've got a funny personality, or you've got a solid sense of humor, or you have a pleasant way of talking. Who's gonna get the job? You decide. You know the answer. So that's one of the ways sense of humor helps. Why sense of humor though? Like, why is it important to be funny? Well, it makes any conversation fun and engaging. Let's imagine a graph. Alright, here's a graph, and a conversation is going on. It's going like right in the middle, like this happened, I woke up, had my breakfast, went to the job and did this, walked my dog, blah blah blah, right? So it's going static, it's just going on the same level. Now sometimes in a conversation there are dips when someone blames or complains. It's like, oh, it's bad weather today, oh, and my dog did this, or my neighbor was being mean to me, or I got a letter from my company and my mortgage is XYZ, whatever. There are all the complaining things about a conversation that brings dips to the graph. But on the other hand, if there are spikes, now I'm being really technical here, but just follow along. If there's spikes in the conversation, which usually comes from telling great stories, or sharing something funny, or probably offering a compliment, you make big spikes, like upward spikes, which makes any conversation fun and engaging. And what happens is, conversation is going, and you go, hey, by the way, whatever, and it's like, ha ha ha, you share a laugh, and then regular conversation, and then you comment upon something, and it's like funny, ha 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 ha, another spike. So what happens is, you create a personality, or you create a kind of persona, where when people go back and the people leave your company, they have something to remember. They're like, you know what, I felt great after being in that person's environment, because I don't know, it was just the way he talks, or our conversation was fun and engaging. So that's the first point of that. Second of all, it creates a positive and an upbeat environment. Alright, like, let's face it, life is short. You never know how long you're gonna live. 60, 70, maybe 50, maybe we die today, tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know how long we're gonna live. Do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as a person who was always complaining or sad about life, or do you want to be remembered as a guy who was here for a brief moment, enjoyed his life to his fullest capabilities, and offered a certain value? He was there, he made me laugh, he made everyone laugh, and now he's moved on. How do you want to be remembered as? Again, at the end, nothing will matter. Everything's gonna be nothing someday. But it's your choice how you want to live, right? Now I went too deep into that, but think about it. That's the base of why we want to see life a certain way, to action correct our behavior. And this all relates to sense of humor. Funny enough. Anyway, laughter, which is a result of sense of humor, generates a physical response. Okay, what do I mean by that? Let's say everyone has a normal state of mind. Let's say there's a guy named Blaming Ben. I'm just creating fancy names here. Blaming Ben always finds himself as a victim of a certain situation. Blaming Ben always has to talk about gas prices, or talk about how the weather is not good, or he has to talk about how he's not treated right by his kids or his wife. That's the characteristic of Blaming Ben, and I'm not judging Ben here. It's just his normal state of mind. In the same way, there is Generous George. Generous George is always offering people beer. He's doing barbecues, offering people burgers, and he's happy. He doesn't take anything. He doesn't take any comment personally, and he laughs, and he doesn't have too much of an ego, so to say, and he's just a funny guy. That's his normal state of mind. And in the same way, there is Future Fred. He's always thinking about what's going to happen in the future. How am I going to land that job? How am I going to get this project going? Or how am I going to get this person impressed? He's always thinking about future. In the same way, there is Past Pamela. Let's just call that Past Pamela. She's always reminiscing in the past. She's always worrying about what did not go right, and always thinking about the stories in the past where things did go right and how they're not right now. So why am I talking about the normal state of mind? It's because we are all moving around and going about life with our normal state of mind. That's our habitual pattern. This is how we think, And when a person comes along and he offers something funny to the conversation, or he has something humorous to say, what happens is the listener receives the information, of course, through the ear. It goes in his head, and he is now interacting just by listening to that comment, whichever comment he made. He's now interacting. He had to think for a second that, oh, it's a metaphor because he said that, and then suddenly he gets it, and he laughs. He laughs because he was involved in a conversation, right? And when he laughs, his whole body laughs with him. So what happens in that particular moment is that normal state of mind I was talking about, that breaks, and he comes in the moment. He comes present in the moment and enjoys laughter. So just by the fact that you can be in someone's head by throwing a funny, positive comment, they can just break their habitual pattern for a second and open them up to you. It's really powerful because, first of all, they get to enjoy the presence. They get to enjoy your company because, of course, you had something funny to say. Laughter is a good feeling, first of all, and second of all, they forget about their regular, repetitive thought patterns. So that's the second thing. Third of all, this can be a great way to put the seed. Let's say you're trying to persuade someone. Let's say you're trying to let's say you're a salesman, you're trying to make a pitch, but you said something funny, open them up, and now this is the right time, the frame is ready, this is the right time to go ahead and put the thought you want to put in. Maybe you want to tell them the value of whatever you're trying to sell, or maybe let's say you want to hang out or have a couple of beer with this person. When you use that laughter, opens them up, they're like, yeah, he sounds like a cool guy, he's funny, it's a good company. They're more susceptible to take your invitation. All right, that's another very important thing right there. Now let's talk about the source of a good sense of humor. See, you can find out good jokes online, or one-liners, or metaphors, or puns, but it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it, right? One of the most important things about sourcing your sense of humor is that knowing that you don't do this to please anyone. This is a paradox. Earlier I did say that you want to build a social value, you want people to like you, but now I'm saying you don't want to please others. That's contradicting, isn't it? Well, it is, but at the same time, it is the beauty of this paradox. You have to let yourself be willing to let go of, let's say, social validation. Or, I mean, the whole point here is it's okay if people around you do not like your sense of humor. All that matters is that you feel funny, or you have that enthusiasm or sense of humor about life. You can cultivate skills to say funny things. It takes time. It's a habit pattern that you'll have to form, which I will discuss later. But at the same time, you want to know that you're not here to please anyone. You're just enjoying the moment and just having fun, and that would just massively increase the skill level of being funny. The second one here is stop judging other people, and it starts with yourself. First of all, you'll have to start not judging your own self. Most of the time, we don't think that we are capable enough. We don't think that we are the best. We have to feel that we are the best, because at the end of the day, we're all coming from the same source. We're all the ray of the same sun, right? So how can you be any less than anyone else? You and I, we are in a very woo-woo sense same. So you have to understand that you are a creation of nature, and you are no less than anyone else. You're the best freaking person that ever happened, and you sort that out in your head. You have to give yourself permission that you and that XYZ person, there is nothing different about you people. It's just that this other person has just worked on himself, but you on the other hand has that in you. It's just that you haven't let it shine through you. So stop judging yourself first, and second of all, which is again very important, is stop judging other people. I mean, we hear these things that, oh, you shouldn't judge. I'm not judging, but we do judge. We have to first of all be honest with ourselves that whenever you see someone and a judgmental thought arises in you, you just be aware of that. Just see it for what it is and stop attaching meanings or labeling it. Stop. So that's the first step of not judging others. Why is it important to not judge others, to have a good sense of humor? Well, because if your sense of humor or your funny things are coming from the wrong place, it's coming from the way where you one-up yourself and put other people down, that's not a clean humor. That's just dirty. You don't want to do that, because what happens is, yes, you will get laughs, but at the same time, sometimes it can get you in really awkward social situations, and um, it would get really hard to get out of this. And why do you want to be that person anyway, right? There's this guy, Tosh, some Tosh guy who does shows, Daniel Tosh, maybe that's his name, and he made a really controversial joke on stage. And I don't want to say what the joke was, but um, it came from the wrong place. It came from the place of judgment. People who have gone to such top levels in their life, they mess up because their source is not right. So if we're starting to do something, we've got to get our source right first and then build upon it. All right, that's the foundation. No judging yourself, no judging others. All right, let's move along. Right. Third one is focus on giving than taking. A lot of times what happens is we try to make ourselves go join other people's party, which is fine. It's good to be guests at other people's party. And when I say that, what I'm trying to say is if two people, a few people are engaged, they're having a funny conversation, you as a third person, you can go in. But at the same time, if you're going in with a gift, which is gift of your personality or a gift in any form, then that is more appreciated. That is just celebrated. Or the other way of doing it is hosting the party. Again, when I say host a party, I don't mean you have to actually throw a party. I mean, you can do that, but what I mean is you're there self-amused, you're just enjoying your life anyway, and you welcome other people to your party, and they want to come to you because you have a giving mentality. You have something to offer to them. You have something funny to say. All right, so that's the source of it. When you're coming from the place of taking, you want to join other people's conversation, and you stand there and wait for something to happen, like wait for them to say something funny, and you just stand there as like the spectator, and like you're like, okay, well, what do you have to say? I'm not gonna do anything, but I want you to do something so that I can laugh, so that I can get something to laugh about, or give me something to be amused about, give me a story to imagine. Instead, if we just change our approach, hey guys, listen, this is what I have to say. Hey guys, listen, this is the story I'm gonna share with you, or this is the joke I'm gonna share with you. That just changes the perspective of people. It just changes the whole vibe of the environment. You can go join other people's party, but go there as a gift, not as this taker guy. If friends are having a laughter, let them laugh and add on to the laughter. Laugh with them, give them something to laugh about, and don't shut anyone down if they're trying to say something. Stay quiet. Silence is also a great way of being a part of an environment. Or what you can do is be the host of the party, in the sense that you're standing there in any kind of social environment, and you start something. You start telling a story, or you give someone a compliment, and you have something funny to say. So they will come to you. You attract them in your reality, where they could enjoy a conversation or enjoy a time together, and then they would have something to value. Your job here is to be a person who could give value, not take value, and that was the whole point of this point. Alright, what are the ways in which you can build a solid sense of humor? Here are some practical tips that you can use and make them your lifestyle to be more funny than you are now, and you build on as months go by and years go by. Hey, listen, you don't just wake up and become the most funny person in the world, or even just funny person in general. If you have been socially inhibited throughout your life, it would take you some practice. So first of all, make that a goal. Just like you want a high cardio, you go work out, you do cardiovascular exercises. Just like When you want more strength, you do weight training. In the same way, if you want to build a sense of humor, you'll have to train yourself. So number one tip that I can offer here is you can start watching funny stuff, and not just watching it, start observing it consciously. When you're watching a stand-up comedian or a TV series which is really funny, see what created laughter. Observe it. You're finding the root of it. And if you get the roots right, you can create your own jokes. The point is not to copy jokes, it's to grasp the sense of it all, right? Start watching funny stuff, and through the law of osmosis, you will embody that kind of funny attitude. I'm telling you, like when I watch something funny and I go out or I meet people or just go to work, because I watch something funny, there is still that funniness inside of me and it just comes out. It does help. Alright, so that's one point. Point number two, surround yourself with funny people. Hang out with people who like to laugh, who like to joke, and shut your ego down. Just see, if someone is funny, then they're funny. Accept that. Accept that fact, they're funny, and try to learn from them, you know? See when people laughed, what they exactly said that made people laugh, and just think about it, and you will start to catch it. We have mirror neurons in our brain. The job of the mirror neuron is to basically monkey other people's behavior. So it's really primal. Like, we are advanced beings with technology and whatnot, but at the same time, we are freaking animals, yo. And just by being with a certain kind of people, it will affect our behavior. There's an old saying which goes like this: birds of the same feather flock together. It makes a lot of sense. Tip number three is a law of state transference. Okay, what is the law of state transference? What it means is that the emotion that you have in you is going to be transferred to the other person. If you're upset and sad, and you have a sad story to tell, you're gonna transfer that emotion to other person. And on the other hand, if you have something serious to tell, you'll make other people serious. If you have something boring to say, you will observe that other people will get bored. But if you are enthusiastic about something and you are full of passion about something, then you, my friend, will be able to put that same enthusiasm in the other person. Of course, I exaggerated all of that, but you get my point here, right? So what happens is, if you're feeling a particular emotion, let's say you're feeling funny, everything is fun. What happens when you drink alcohol? You just get less socially inhibited. You just open up, you know? So you're like, hey, party mode, blah, 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 ha, ha, ha. You say whatever, and ha, 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 it's funny. Hoo, 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 it's funny. You look at stupidest thing, and you laugh about it. And next day you're like, why did I laugh about that stupid joke? It's not the joke, sir, it's how you're feeling. So how can you keep feeling happy all the time? That's a big question, right? I'm gonna talk about it. I'll probably make another video on that topic. There's a lot of things you can do to keep happy. I'll quickly share here. Keep yourself happy. You can involve in activities that are most pleasing to you. You can do that. Do you like improv? Do you like dancing? Do you like singing? Do you like playing guitar? Do you like kickboxing? Choose your hobby. Choose your hobby and do that, and that will keep you're happy. That will keep your internal state positive and upbeat all the time. And if you are in that state of mind, state of heart, state of soul, then everything that you experience is going to be fuller and richer. Next tip here is exaggeration. You can, my friend, exaggerate anything and it gets funny. Like, let's see most of the top stand-up comedian, Louis C.K., he's my favorite guy. He would talk about certain controversial things that you shouldn't say on stage, but he would say it in such a way, and he would just make it so ridiculously exaggerated that people couldn't help but laugh. So that's one way of doing it. Example. Alright. One of the joke he shares is that we humans need to have laws against murder. So, like, think about that. He says that on stage. He's like, we humans need to have laws against murders, or else there would be so much murders around us. And he's like, sweet people will murder a few. And I don't know, you'll have to check that out. And he just exaggerated how people are always irritated with other people and just annoyed with other people and just start like bitching about other people. He just exaggerated that thing to such a level, to the murder level, that it just is funny. You know, that's one law you can use. You can just exaggerate anything. You can exaggerate if someone like drops something, it's like, oh, you dropped it, or you can be like, oh yeah, burn it. You know, it just exaggerated it. It's funny. Or it's like, hey, I've been eating blah 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 blah, and now I'm exaggerated. It's just, again, it doesn't have to be the best joke. It's your vibe. It's how you're feeling about the joke. All right, next tip is telling stories. Yeah, you can tell stories. You can remember stories. You can prepare stories before you tell them in your head, and it would just get better every time. And form the story in a way where the surprise element comes in the end. You know, you want that boom at the end, and you can build up to it and say it in a very passionate way using metaphors. So someone uses a sentence and there is a word that reminds you of some other thought which is completely unrelated to this thought, and you process that in your head very quick and come up with your reply using that same word in a different sense. That creates humor. Alright, thank you so much for hanging around, and I hope this video had some value to offer to you. If you liked it, then like it, and if you didn't like it, then thanks for watching anyway. You have yourself a funny life. Have fun. Peace. So you start watching stuff. There's an old saying, they say, flocks the same feather. No. Chain. Fuck. So on this topic. Oh, are we on? Okay, alright. We're on. Alright. To be funny, or to find funny thing. Fuck it. Shit. Alright, let me start again.